John Colet was so overwhelmed by the ministry of Savonarola is that he would try to get to the church on a Sunday morning, and there would be more people outside trying to get in than the church could contain, which was already full to the rafters. John Colet learned what Savonarola was saying. He was allowing the Apostle Paul to speak in the language of the people from these Greek texts, and the response was revival. Well, John Colet went back, started holding chapel services on the university campus. All he did was read the epistles of Paul in the Greek and translate that reading into English to the students that were sitting in the pew. And within a month, the chapel couldn't hold all the young people that wanted to hear this. And John Colet began to do the same thing at London, at St. Paul's Cathedral, that he had done at the chapel up at Oxford. And the results were overwhelming. Within 6 months, there were 15 to 20,000 people trying to get in St. Paul's Cathedral. Erasmus determined that he had to master this language, and he had to fuel these changes. Today, we know the name Erasmus of Rotterdam because he simply was one of the most brilliant people that ever lived. It's kind of interesting. He was probably the last man on earth to know everything, at least everything from a book learning standpoint, because he had read and translated in his lifetime every single piece of literature that was accessible. Erasmus naturally said, well, we need to translate this Bible and print it in Greek and in English and in other languages. He made that announcement to a couple of scholar friends, and they were his friends, and they said, well, you'll not do it here, and you'll not do it anywhere in England, in fact. Erasmus was frustrated. He said, okay, if I can't do it here, I'll go to the continent and do it. Erasmus, with manuscripts borrowed from Thomas More and from John Colet and from friends at the University of Paris, took enough Greek manuscripts to basically make up a complete New Testament, and went to Basel in Switzerland, and there in 1514 and 1515 sat down and began to assemble a Greek text for the printing press.